What's going on, guys? It's your boy the Markham Knight here. Today's video is going to be all about the DCU slate that was announced by James Gunn yesterday. I do want to get into it and then we can talk about it more afterwards. Let's get started.
Hey everybody, I'm James Gunn. I'm the co-CEO of DC Studios. So as many of you know, DC has been disconnected in film and television for a long time.
Yep.
And it's one of, our jobs, mine and Peter's, is to come in and make sure the DCU is connected in film, television, gaming, and animation. That the characters are consistent, played by the same actors, and it works within one story. And if something is outside of
gaming
that,
and animation,
like Matt Reeves' Batman, or Todd Phillips' Joker, or Teen Titans Go, that it is clearly labeled as DC Elseworlds.
Oh, I like that.
The mainstream DC continuity. Now, Peter and I have gotten pretty lucky in terms of the 4 projects that are coming out over the next year. First, we have Shazam! Fury of the Gods. Shazam has always been off kind of in his own part of the DCU, so he connects very well.
Oh.
That moves directly into The Flash, a fantastic movie that I really love.
So is he part of it?
That resets the entire DC universe. Then
Oh.
we move into Blue Beetle, a fantastic
So Flash
film
is resetting.
about a kid who's a marvelous part of the DCU, and then into Aquaman 2, which leads directly into our next few projects, which I'm going to tell you about now. So, Peter and I, along with
Aquaman 2 a part of it?
talented writers, have started to map out an 8 to 10 year plan of what DC Studios will be.
Does that mean he's continuing Aquaman into the new universe?
This first chapter
He didn't articulate
is
that
called
well.
Gods and Monsters. Now, this, what
Gods
I'm
and
about to tell you,
Monsters.
is a part of the first chapter. It's not the entire first chapter. The first project is Creature Commandos. Creature
there's
Commandos
Weasel
is an
from the
animated
Suicide
series.
Squad.
I've written all the episodes. Something we're going to do that's a little bit different at DC is we're going to have characters move into animation.
Kind of feels like Doom Patrol.
Out of animation, usually having the same actor play their voice as who plays them in live action. The next project up is Waller. This is a story of Amanda Waller, played by Viola Davis.
He's continuing
Viola
Amanda
Davis is
Waller.
gonna team up with members of Team Peacemaker, and
Oh, okay.
it's a story that's been created by Crystal Henry, who did Watchmen, and
Ooh.
Jeremy Carver, who created the Doom Patrol.
Ooh.
It is a
Watchmen and
fantastic
Doom Patrol are
story
great shows.
that's out of this world, and I can't wait for people to see it. Okay, next up is a big one, the true beginning of the DCU.
Gotta be Superman.
This is called
Yep.
Superman Legacy. This is being written
That's
by me.
All-Star
I'm in
Superman
the middle of
cover.
it. I'm having a great time doing it, and Superman will be released
Legacy.
into theaters July 11th, 2025. Okay, the next
I
thing
like
is
that.
a big premiere HBO television series called Lanterns. This is a story of a couple of Green Lanterns, Jon Stewart and Hal Jordan.
Not canceled.
And we have a few other Lanterns peppered in there, but this is really a terrestrial-based TV show, which is almost like True Detective with a couple of Green Lanterns, sort of
Ooh.
space cops watching over Precinct Earth. In it, they discover
That's
a
cool.
terrifying mystery that ties into our larger story of the DCU.
Okay,
Next
I'm going to pause that for a second right there. That's very cool. We got 4 projects so far, very different projects. The first one was Creature Commandos, which I'm not very familiar with, but it looked a lot like Doom Patrol, right? A little bit weird and a little bit outside, but we saw Weasel from the Suicide Squad in it. Next one he announced was Amanda Waller. Viola Davis is getting carried over, so he's not being specific about what he's carrying over and what he's not carrying over. I feel like maybe the storyline, because the DC universe is getting reset, will be different, so they're going to change the story for some characters. It'll be interesting to see what they do there. And then we got Superman Legacy. I love that it's called Legacy because the Henry Cavill version was not very close to the comics version of Superman. So it's going to be very interesting to see what they do with that part of it. He used All-Star Superman's cover as the picture to kind of describe Superman Legacy, which is awesome because Grant Morrison is literally, that story was literally the best Superman story I've ever read. So it's awesome that we get that. And then we got the Green Lanterns, which is very, very cool because we were all questioning whether it's going to happen. And it's going to be Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart, who have very different personalities, kind of doing a buddy cop thing in space, which is going to be awesome. He said True Detective with Green Lantern, so that's going to be awesome. And it's an HBO show. So let's continue here.
Big movie called The Authority. The Authority is a passion project of mine. It's based on the marvelous Wildstorm characters we are now bringing into the DCU and will interact with all of our primary DCU characters. The Authority are a group of superheroes who think the world is broken and they want to fix it by any means necessary. I think it's a very different look at superheroes. We're doing a television series called Paradise Lost. Paradise Lost is the story of Paradise Island, usually known as Themyscira, which is the birthplace of Wonder Woman. It's almost like Game of Thrones with
Wonder if she'll actually be in it though.
with
Game of Thrones.
Of Paradise Island. The introduction of the DCU's Batman is The Brave and the Bold. The Brave and the Bold is the story of Batman and his actual son, Damian Wayne. This is based on Grant Morrison's great comic book run. Damian Wayne is my favorite Robin. He's a little assassin who Batman tries to get in line, and so this is the story of the two of them and the beginning of sort of the Bat family in the DCU.
Okay, hold on, let's stop that right there. Talk about these three projects here. So we got The Authority, which is a Wildstorm production, but he said it's going to be in the DCU. So The Authority is basically an extreme version of the Justice League. They kind of take everything to the extreme, so they're willing to kill, they're willing to do what it takes to get stuff done. That's going to be interesting because this is set in the DCU, which means Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, all that stuff's going to already exist out there. So there's got to be a showdown being set up there. Paradise Lost, I don't know when this is necessarily set. I feel like maybe this is either going to be before Wonder Woman or maybe while Wonder Woman's not on the island. It doesn't feel like it feels like he would have showcased Wonder Woman if she was going to be a part of it. He just said it was the birthplace of Wonder Woman. But Game of Thrones on Themyscira sounds pretty good. Batman's introduction, we see Batman and Damian here. That gives me hope that their Bat family's already out there. That means we're probably going to have Nightwing out there, Red Hood out there. We're probably going to have Red Robin. We're probably going to have the whole Bat family out there in some way or another, maybe Batgirl, maybe Oracle, something or another, because we already have Damian Wayne here. That means we might have a little bit of an older Batman, maybe in his mid-30s. So that seems pretty cool so far. So we got Batman, we got Superman, we got the Green Lanterns, we got Wonder Woman being introduced here also, and then we got some side projects that are not even closely linked at all to the Justice League. So let's continue on with this. That's pretty cool.
Next up is a TV series called Booster Gold. Booster Gold is one of comics' really popular cult heroes.
Like it.
He is a fascinating guy. He's a loser from the future who uses future technology to come back to present day and become a superhero so that people will love him. It is basically the superhero story of imposter syndrome on an HBO Max series. One of my favorite comic book series from last year was Tom King's run on Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow.
Oh yeah,
so we're going to turn that into a big science fiction epic film. Now, Superman is a guy who was sent to Earth and raised by loving parents. Whereas Supergirl in this story, she is a character who was raised on a chunk of Krypton. She watched everybody around her.
So we got the Bat family and the Super family.
So she's a much more jaded character.
Very cool.
And that brings me to Swamp Thing, the last thing we're going to talk about. Okay. A very dark horror story in the origins
very different
of the monster
projects
who
here.
is Swamp Thing. And although it's totally outside of the rest of the DCU, it will still feed into the rest of the stories. Anyway, those are the stories that I can tell you about right now. I'm going
to stop that right there, and let's just talk about that for a little bit. Okay, so we got Booster Gold, which is very cool. It's going to be a TV series. I was hoping to see Booster Gold interact with his buddy Blue Beetle. Obviously, the Blue Beetle that we're getting this year is going to be Jaime Reyes. It's not Ted Kord, which is the one that kind of coincides with Booster Gold. But if they introduce Ted Kord's character, or at least they say he's out there, then they could probably bring him into the Booster Gold series at one point or another and kind of set something up for the future of that. Next we got Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. That is a very good storyline. Tom King is an amazing writer, and he's won like Eisner Awards and stuff like that in the past. He's one of the best comic book writers out there, and his story with Supergirl was very cool. It's essentially she goes out for her birthday to celebrate her birthday to a red sun planet so that she can get drunk, and then she ends up helping this little girl figure out who killed her dad and try to get revenge for her. So it's a pretty cool storyline. Then finally, we got Swamp Thing. Swamp Thing is a very cool story. Alan Moore's run on him was amazing. Scott Snyder also did a pretty good run of the New 52. Very good, cool storyline. Very cool horror movie if they decide to make it so. There was a TV show that was really good, but apparently it was too expensive, so it was canceled even before the episodes aired, which was kind of unheard of, but still, if you want to see the TV show, you could do that. But he did say this will tie directly in to the DCU. So we got a lot of different projects here. all getting tied together, very different aspects. We did get a lot of core members of the Justice League that are going to be introduced in this first part, and he did say that this was only part of the first chapter, so I'm guessing this is going to take place within maybe a 3-year span or so, where we're going to get these 10 projects within the first 3 years of DC. And that's part of chapter 1. Maybe there'll be a couple more projects, but he doesn't want to say too much about how he's going to tie everything together, but that's going to be the first aspect of it. Anyways, guys, you watch this with me. I give you my best breakdown of what's going on here. Tell me what you think.
This is the Marvel Knight, and I need you to like, comment, and subscribe.